the process of uploading photos and saving them in a database in Microsoft Visual Basic. Therefore, we launch Microsoft Visual Basic. Then this is our form where we shall create our GUI or our graphical user interface. Therefore, the first thing, you make sure that in your references, you make sure that Microsoft ActiveX data object 2.8 or 6.0, depending on the system you're using, is active. Then you go back to project, then you go to components. Now, when you are in the components, make sure the following components are ticked or enabled: Microsoft Common Dialog Control 6.0 and also Microsoft Common Control 6.0. Then Microsoft, the next one is Microsoft Windows Common Control 2 6.0. Therefore, if those ones are enabled, you'll be in a position to get this button here. And therefore, let's go and first of all create a Microsoft Access database. Therefore, you just go to this point here. You launch your Microsoft Access database. Then inside the Microsoft Access database, you create a blank database. Therefore, I just click a blank database. Then I want this blank database of mine saved in local drive C. Therefore, I just call it, you can just save it as database. Yeah, just call it photos that way. Create. Then inside this database, you go to design view, you create a table. Like now, you can have an ID, auto number, and the primary key. Then we shall have a field called photo, and this field you set the data type as memo, since we shall require a larger that is the address of the photo, that is the URL. It will be wrong, and therefore we need to have wrong database. Therefore, from here we can just call it profile TLB or TBL, that is table profile TBL. Therefore, this is our table. This is where our photos will be stored. Then we can cross our database. Then from there, we need to have the database connection between this form and the database, so that we can proceed with the next step. Therefore, you double click this form. Now in private sub form road, you shall have this code here. You can get this code below the description down here. Therefore, this is the code that you write. It is a wrong code. This is the code, the connection code. This one, this is for connection. Therefore, the connection provider is Microsoft.jet OREDB 4.0. Data source. Now here you type the name of your database. Our database is photo. We called it photos. You can just confirm, open access, then confirm the name of our database. It is photos. Therefore, you type S photos that way .mdb. Therefore, this code you don't need to write it down. Just copy it and paste it the way it looks like. You only change the name of the database, and you also change the name of the table. Therefore, we are selecting all from a table called profile TBL. Therefore, have this code. It is below my description, below this video. Then the other thing, after writing that one forms the connection. Then you have to declare connection. Therefore, dim connection as new Adobe dot connection. Then we have to declare our record source. Therefore, dim our rs. Let's use lowercase. Therefore, dim. Therefore, we are dim. Dim is to declare dim rs. That is our record source as new connection for this dot record set. Therefore, this connection here has been declared as connection. Then this rs, the record source, has also been declared as a record source. This is the connection. This is the record set. Therefore, after having done this connection here and declaring this, now our database is connected to our form. Therefore, we can proceed now to the next steps. Therefore, the next step is to design our GUI, and you have to make sure that the properties window, this one is active. It is active, as you can see. Therefore, we change the name of our form here. Therefore, this one we can just call it FRM students. Then we go to caption. We are creating photo. We are creating photos upload management system. Then you can change the name of that is the color of the form. Remember, we want it to be as attractive as possible. That is the back color. As usual, you can change this back color. Therefore, after having I wanted that color, we can save it. Therefore, then after doing this, if you double click, now you see the codes that we had written earlier. Now let's proceed. First of all, let's design where our photo will be found. Therefore, this is our frame. Instead of using this, I write using the box. You can use the box. Then on this box of ours, you can change the border style to something different. If you need a transparent etc, you can also change the border width here. Those are the things that you can actually work on here. Then from this point here, we go to this point, draw the picture to the picture box here. This is where our photo will be found. Then the next thing, you come down here and draw common dialog box. You can draw it anywhere there. This will not be seen. Therefore, if I run my form, you will not see it. You see, it is not visible. Then from there, we shall draw various buttons for navigation purposes. Therefore, we can draw a button for save. You just come to name. Then this is CMD save. Then the name of this one is save photos. Then you can draw another one. You can draw another one. Therefore, this is CMD refresh. Then you just go to this point here. This one is refresh. Then draw another one. Draw another button there. Therefore, this one is CMD next. Then this is next. Then we can draw for previous. This is CMD previous. Then you just go to this point. This is previous that way. Then the next thing is to make sure that your buttons are almost the same. of the same size. Therefore, these are our buttons. We have next, previous, save, refresh buttons. Then after now having done that, we can also draw a button to upload. Therefore, you can just have a button somewhere to upload photo. Therefore, you can just double click this one. Then this one is CMD upload. Then in the caption, this is upload photo. Upload photo. Then you can just make these ones clear. Just go to font, then bold them that way. Therefore, this is what we have. Save photos. Good. Now this is our GUI, and we can run our GUI and to see what you have so far. Then we can just stop that one. Then I would opt to have this button for upload somewhere closer to this. Therefore, this button should be somewhere there. Therefore, the next thing to do is to code for the button for upload. You double click. Then once you double click, we can have common dialog. Let's use as small letters. Therefore, common dialog 1 dot that is dot show open. That is dot show open. Then the next point is common dialog 1 dot filter. That is dot filter equals to the type of photos. Therefore, you have JPEG. Then you put a pipe, and then or dot JPG. Therefore, this means all. Then that is the asterisk. Then from there we shall declare a variable str equals to our common dialog 1 dot now file name, that is dot file name. Then we shall have our picture, picture 1 dot picture, that is dot picture equals to road picture. Now the declared variable. Then from there we shall have that one as the code. Therefore, this is the code for uploading. That is common dialog 1. Now common dialog 1 is this one. You see this one is common dialog 1, and that's where we code our upload that is our upload code. Then after now having done that, we can just go to this button, then hit this button. Let's just see this one. Now you realize that we have not declared this one, and therefore that means we have to go back to this point here and say dim str as string. Okay. Now we stop this, then run again, see what happens. Therefore, when you click on this one, you see now it is heading to where our photos are, and then I can be in a position now to upload a photo. But still, these photos cannot be saved since we have not coded for the buttons, and therefore we stop that. Then we go to this part here, go to view object, then double click save photos. We want to code for the save button. Therefore rs, that is our record source, dot feeds. Then we want which feed. Our feed is photo, and therefore you go to a field photo. Our feed is photo, just like it is in the database. We cross this one dot value. Dot value equals to our variable. Then msg box. This is a message box. We want to say that data is saved, or just say photo has been saved. that way. Then we put VB information, comma, and the title of the that one, that is photo saved. Therefore, that is the code for saving. This is the code for saving. We are reading the record. It will read the record for the record. That is the record set photo, and then display a message that that one has been saved. Then from there, we need to say record source dot update so that it can be saved. That is for the save button. And that means if I come to this point, then upload this photo, then hit this one. Just a moment. First of all, before we do that, let's code for new button. That is for new button so that it can initialize the start of file. And therefore, we need to add a button here called add new. If I just go to this button here, this is we have CMD add new, then go to caption, then add, then you can have add a new photo, add a new photo that way. Therefore, this is our button for add a new photo. Then you can just go to font and then bold it, just like we have done to the others. Therefore, this is button for add a new photo here. And for add a new photo, we shall have its code as rs dot add a new. Then we need the previous photo to be cleared, then clear. And for that case, we shall create a sub procedure to make sure that when a new photo is added, then there is a clear event that has taken place. Therefore, we introduce, can just come to this point here and introduce a sub procedure, sub clear. So sub clear, then picture one dot picture equals to road picture empty. That one clears, it will clear the picture. Therefore, this is the sub procedure for clear that I have included here. Therefore, in this point here, I have called this sub procedure clear. And what the sub procedure does, it clears the picture when add new is there. Therefore, the picture that was is cleared. Then we also need to go on and code for the for this button here. We code for refresh button. When we hit refresh button, the content should be refreshed. And therefore, that's what I want us now to go through. We look at the code for refresh, and therefore, for that case, we shall just have rs.cross. That is our record source dot cross. Then we shall have record source dot open. It opens now the previous. If I just come here, this is select or, that is an SQL statement from our table is profile tbr. Therefore, we shall open that one. Then we check the connection, comma, we choose that one, comma, we choose that one. Then, if not, record source dot end of file, then what happens? Then we shall have rs dot move next dot move next, rs dot move next. Then it will run a sub procedure that we shall write called display. It will display the content. Else you should give a message box. Should give a message box that no record found. no record found, no record found, that way. Then and if, therefore that is the code for, this is the code for refresh. What the code does, it will cross whatever was there, then open, it will select all from this table and then move to the next if it is not at the end of the file, that is if it is in the beginning of the file. Then we have seen that we need to write a sub procedure for display that will make sure that our pictures are loaded whenever we require them. Therefore sub display, the one we have called down there, then picture one dot picture equals to load picture, then the name of the picture, that is the record, it will rs exclamation mark, then photo, it will load that record. Therefore basically this is the sub procedure to display that photo. Then after having done that one, we need also to code for next and previous buttons. Therefore we just go to this point, then we can go to where next is, then we can be in a position to code for next button, so that whenever we click on it, it shall be in a position to go to next. Therefore for the next is rs.move next, then if not rs.end of file, then what happens, then it will run display, it will call the sub procedure display, else what happens, rs.move, that is for the next move, can use move previous and see what happens, move previous, then and if, that is the code for this one. Therefore it's also important to write comments like rem, this is the code, this is the code for next, that way. You see now this one, somebody will know that one. Then for like this one, you can also use apostrophe, this is code for refresh, so that the guy who will come reading this code will have an easy time. Like now this one, this is code for save, that way. Then we can just save this one, go back and code for previous. If we just go double click previous, then we can also code for previous. Therefore this is rs dot move previous, then it will also check if not rs dot beginning of file, rs dot beginning of file, then what happens, then display, it will run display. Remember display loads the photo from the database, else what happens, rs dot move rust, else and if. Therefore let's see what happens from this point here. Therefore when we load this one, then refresh, you see now no record found. Therefore we can just try to see previous. See now those ones, let's just run it again, add new, then we upload a photo. If we can upload this one, then save that one in our database, then add another one, then we can just add any other photos. We have many photos, so we can add this one, then save, then add another one, add another one, then save, then refresh. You see now when we refresh, what happens? Then now I can be in a position to move to various photos. Therefore, if I refresh, it goes back to this one here. Then if I add another guy here, then I can, for example, add this one, then save that way, then add another one. I can add this one, then save, then refresh. You see what happens. Then now I can be in a position to go to next, then previous, and if I open my my Access database here, if I go to Microsoft Access, then I open photos. That way, if I open this table, you'll be in a position to see the photos saved. There we are. You see now I have saved 5 photos. There are links. The links for the photos are here. Therefore, you see there are links for the photos, and this photo here has been duplicated. Therefore, this is what is happening. As I add more, then the photos are being added in my database. Therefore, this is the code for doing that one. You can see it is successfully done. You can get this code below my that is in the comment zone of this video. You can also get this file in my website. I have dropped the URL or the address for my website below this video. And therefore, thank you very much for watching.